Merry Christmas, everyone. This is one of my favorite Christmas presents I ever got when I was still in the Amish community. I got this from my parents one year, and it was a little lock box, a little cedar box that I could lock up and hide the key, and then this was about my only privacy that I had, even in my own room. I used to keep my radio in here, and my parents never once busted the lock or anything trying to find it. I would have been really disappointed if they had busted the lock off of something that they gave me. But they always respected the lock on it, even though it was a little cheap lock. I don't have the key for it anymore, so I don't really know. I might have to try to find a similar one or just break the lock because I don't know what's in there. Probably just a bunch of old letters. These gloves are another thing that I got from my parents for Christmas before I left. These were really nice, warm gloves. They were insulated. You know, they were really warm when you were driving down the road in a buggy. And I have another pair here that I will show you. My parents gave me these gloves a year or two later. I liked these better because they were warmer. When it was really cold out, these were my go-to, but they weren't as easy to like undo your harness and stuff with these big gloves. These are super insulated. So these were not as easy as the other ones. The Amish celebrate Christmas as the birth of Jesus, not Santa Claus, Christmas trees, Christmas lights and ornaments and stuff like that. They do give some small little gifts, as I have shown earlier in this video, but it's usually something practical that you can use and that you would have needed anyway. Like I would have needed those gloves anyway. And our teacher at school would also give us small little gifts. We would have a Christmas program every year in school, and we all had to line up and, you know, form a group and sing the Christmas carols. You know, we had a book filled with like the program. You know, somebody had to say a poem, someone had to sing a song. We all had to recite a poem, and you had to walk out in front of this group and recite your poem to your parents and your neighbors, your uncles and aunts, grandparents, whatever. And it was always like stage fright for me. I always dreaded having to go up and say my poem. You know, but singing was fine. I didn't mind singing with the group. But those were always fun times, and we would practice that for about a month before the program was. And during the middle of school hours, we would just take half an hour here and there, all line up in a group and do like this Christmas program practice. So it was always kind of a magical time of year. And then we got small presents from our teacher. I remember one time getting just like a little book about the Titanic. It was probably about 40 pages long and explained in brief detail. You know, little things like that is what we would get from our teacher. But yeah, the Amish don't celebrate Christmas as Santa Claus. We never talked about that. It was mostly always spent with family and food and lots of candy, lots of homemade candy around Christmas time. My mom would buy about 50 pounds of chocolate. Maybe it wasn't that big, but a huge slab of chocolate. And then she would melt it down and make all these chocolate-covered pretzels. You know, she'd take marshmallows and Ritz crackers and like put a marshmallow in between, squish them together, then dunk it in chocolate. So when you bit into it, it was like chocolate, marshmallow, and Ritz cracker. I don't know, she might have baked them to make the marshmallow stick a little better. I don't know. But yeah, all kinds of good candy. I used to love to just sit there and scrape the bowl of the melted chocolate, because the melted chocolate, she'd put it in a pan of water. She'd put a bowl in there with some chocolate pieces. That way they wouldn't burn to the bowl if you would have put it directly on the heat. So I would always go, that melted chocolate was so good. Probably the reason why a lot of my teeth aren't doing too good, but it was worth it. So on Christmas family get-togethers, a lot of times there would be just candy and snacks. Like we'd have whole canisters, like 5-gallon canisters full of popcorn, homemade popcorn. Each family would bring some salty snacks. They'd bring some finger jello or something like that, and then a bunch of chocolate-covered candy. Usually it was more of like a snack get-together. We'd all snack. We wouldn't actually have like chicken and really good food on Christmas, because that was just, there was a lot of people in my family. There was probably 250 people there. So it would have been a lot of work to make all that food. So they bring in the snacks, you know, and we'd all eat before we went. And then we'd have snacks, and then we'd leave by the afternoon and go home and eat dinner at home, if that makes sense. So even though we didn't get a lot of gifts at Christmas time, it always felt like a magical time of year for me as a little kid. My thoughts and prayers are with everyone who is missing loved ones this year. I know of some people that have lost loved ones in the past year, and I know that's got to be hard. Others are overseas serving. That's got to be hard, you know, and there's a lot of reasons why people aren't with their loved ones today, but my thoughts and prayers are with you. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope everyone has a blessed day. Merry Christmas. Remember the reason for the season. God bless you all.